As we go to the Chitas of today, we're holding in the portion of Chaye Sarah, the book of Genesis, chapter 22, verse number. Oops, this is the wrong one. We're holding on chapter 23, verse number 1. Chaye Sarah, and these were the lifetime of Sarah. Neya Shana, she was 120, Retzim Shana 20, Sheva Shana 7. She was 127 years old. Shnei Chaye Sarah, this was the life of Sarah. Now she says, why is it written 100 years, 20 years, and 7 years? Why is it not written together? For this reason, the word Shana is written for each unit of her age, to tell us that each unit is expounded individually. She was 100 years, like she was like a woman of 20 years. With regard to sin, she was just like 20 years. She was like 20 years, like considered not sinned, like a 7-year-old. So to punishment, she was out sin at the age of 100, and the age of 20, she was beautiful as the age of 7. So she had all these qualities in life. Shnei Chaye Sarah, this was the life of Sarah. Rashi says, Kulam Shavu L'Tova, everything was equal to the good. That Sarah was a woman that everything she took in life was for the good. Vatama Sarah b'Kiryat Arba, Sarah passed away in the Kiryat Arba. He Chevron, which is Chevron, Eretz Canaan, the land of Canaan. Ayava Avram Avinu came. Lisped l'Son of Kesar. Avram came to cry for to eulogize Sarah and to cry for her. Now she said, "B'Kiryat Arba." Why is it called the Kirya, the town of 4? Number 1, because the 4 giants that lived there, Achmin, Sheshai, V'Salma, V'Aviam, and their father. Another explanation, it's called the town of 4 on account of the 4 couples that were going to be buried there. And those were Adam and Chava is buried in the Maros Mapela, Adam and Chava, Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebecca, and Yaakov and Leah. So that's why it's called till today Kiryat Arba, because of these 3 great people that are buried in the Maros Mapela, the tomb. Ayavi Avram, where did Avram come from? Beersheva, he came from Beersheva. Lispei l'Sarah. Sarah's death was immediately following binding of Isaac. That's why Avram was not there. Because through her hearing about the binding, when she heard that her son, her only son, is being bound upon the altar, she passed away. She had a heart attack. And she was sacrificed. Her soul departed her, and she died. So it was an early death, so to say. Yaakov Avram Vina rose from the presence of his dead wife. They spoke to the Hittites there, saying, "I am with you. I sojourn with you. I'm a foreigner, and I sojourn with you. Give me a place to bury my imachem. Give me a place of burial between you, and let me bury the person who's died before me." Now she says, "I am a stranger who came from a foreign land, and I have now settled amongst you." That's the simple interpretation. But our God explains, if you agree to sell me the land, I will act as a stranger. If you and buy it from you. But if you will not, and I will act as a citizen and take it by right, because I belong here. I'm a citizen of this country, and I deserve a place to bury my. The Holy One, blessed be said, I'll give you this land. So either way, if you want to treat me as somebody who's visiting, then treat me and let me buy it. If not, I'll take it. And then the children of Ches told Avram, saying, "Shmaini Adeni, listen, my master, you a prince of God. In our midst, in in the best of the burial places. Bury your one who departed. No one amongst us will deny his burial site to bury your dead. As she says, le'yichle means to not withhold. As we find in Tilim, you will not hold your mercies. Verse number 7, Yaakov Avram Avinu rose and he bowed to the people of the region of Neches, to the Hittites. He said to them following, if it's really your will that I bury my dead in my presence, Shemoeni, then listen to me. I want to bury it in a special place. I have a certain place. And that is in the land of Ephraim, the son of Tzeicha. Now she says, Nafshechem, it's a true will. Ufiguli, this is an expression request. Then I'm not burying him wherever you want. I want to bury her in the place that I've chosen in the land of Ephraim, the Hittite. I'm asking him for the cave of the Machpelah. Ashaloi, which belongs to him. Ashabiktsei Sadeo, which is the edge of his field. The Kesem Mole, I'm not interested in taking it. I'm not asking for donation. I'm going to pay for it. Full cash. Yitnu li, he'll give it to me. B'seichem, in your midst, lachuzas kever, as a burial ground. Now she says a machpelah comes to the word kaifel, double. It's so cool because the field contained the house with an upper and a level above it, and that's why until today there's an upper level and there's a lower level, a deep lower level. Another explanation, that's what's machpelah. Another explanation, because the cave had a characteristic of being double through the couples. Again, going back to the previous Rashi, that it was doubled and redoubled because 4 couples are buried in this tomb. The Kesem Mole, full cash. The expression refers to complete price and not quality of silver, and not the quality of silver. I'll pay the entire worth. And so too, you find the same thing later when David bought the land by Arnon. He said, "I'll give you kesef mali." That's now Rashi is just explaining to me kesef or full money. Full money means that it's going to be. I'm not going to jip anybody off. I'm going to pay full cash. Ephraim the Hittite was sitting there in the midst of this community. Ephraim the Hittite said, in the ears of his fellow men. The whole boy to all those that came to the entrance of the city. That's where usually people came together to judge and to sell, etc. And he said it openly in front of everybody. Rashi says, "Ve'efin Yoshev." There's missing a letter Vav in this world. It's missing a Vav, suggesting a deficiency after the position. This sounds like something's missing. This indicates that it was only on that day that they appointed him as an officer over them. Punkt hashgacha pratis, divine providence, that he became suddenly a knacker. He became suddenly a leader in this community. So everything was divine providence. He became a leader because he had the power to do what he wanted to do. So on account of why was the divine providence that he became a leader? So Rashi says, on the account of the high standing of Avram, who needed him, and he promoted an important position exactly that day. The whole Shara Ire, they were all there, for they all stopped their work to come and pay respects to Sarah. I mean, Sarah and Abraham lived in Hebron for many years. They were well-known personalities, and they all came. The whole city came out to pay respects to Sarah. So, verse number 11. Lo yadeni. Ephraim says to Avram, "No, my master, Shmeini, listen to me. Hasad and asati lach. I'm giving you the field. Amar hashabal lachon asaticha. I'm giving you the land. Don't worry. I'm giving you the cave. I'm giving you the land. Le'ene b'nei ami. I'm going to do this in front of the whole community. The satilach, I'm giving it to you. K'vayis b'secha. Bury your dead." Rashi says, "Le'sik m'adamim." I'm not interested in money. The satilach, as if it was already given to you. That's the satir is a past. Avram Avinu bowed before the people. generosity, unbelievable generous. He spoke to Ephraim. It's in the voice. He said it that everybody should hear it. Lamer saying, listen to me. I'm giving you the money. I'm not holding back any money. I want you to take the money. I want you to take the money, and I want to bury my loved one there. Now she says, you asked me to listen to you and take without payment. I do not want this. I'd rather you listen to me and you take the money. The sati I have given is the money's already with me. It's not something I have to go get. So it's something that I planned this. I put it away. It's right over here. And it's as if it's already given. The sati again is the past. So it's already, you have it already. So therefore, don't worry. It's your money. It's not something I have to go and find. Ayana Ephraim. So Ephraim said to him, okay. So if you're asking that I should take money, I'm asking you for 400 silver shekel. That's the worth of the land between me and you. It's only for you. Whenever you ever hear a guy tell you, I'm giving you a special price. This was between me and you. This is only a price between me and you. You know, take more for somebody else. What is it? And bury your loved one. Rashi says, like two such good friends as we are. What's important of that? What's 400 shekel? None. Leave aside the sale and bury it there. Yesh my Avram Ephraim, but Avram Avinu, listen to Ephraim. Vayishkel Avram leEphraim hakesef, and Avram Avinu gave Ephraim the 400 shekel. Which he heard, which he spoke in the ears of the people of Ches. Abba meya shekel kesef. He gave him 400 silver coins. Means it was a negotiable currency. This was, as Rashi is going to say, that it was there were coins that were universal coins. That everywhere you went with these coins, they were accepted. Now she says, "Vayishkel." Is Ephraim. I'm sorry, Ephraim. The word Ephraim is missing a vav. It's missing a letter again. Rashi always translates that meaning. It's a Gemara. When there's missing a letter, you always have to accentuate the word and know why a letter is missing. Ephraim is missing a letter. Vav indicates his deficiency. Go again to show that he was not such a great guy, because he promised much, but even a little he did not do. For he took from Avram Avinu a lot of money, which was it was called centuria, coins worth full hundreds. Each one of those coins were 400 regular coins. They're like 4,000 shekel. If you wanted to go in how much the currency was in Hebron, that their own coins was 100 to his one. So it took a lot of money. As it says, oivel aseicha means coins that were accepted universally as a full shekel, and there are places where this shekel are large, centurias in Old French, and therefore he was a big talker, and when it came to taking, he took a lot. And that completes the Chumash for today. We are in the Tanya of the day. We are in the 28th letter of the Alter Rebbe. Very Kabbalistic letter, extremely Kabbalistic, and you just need to listen to these words and soak it in, because the Alter Rebbe is explaining the greatness of the Parah Aduma. If you remember from yesterday, the Parah Aduma, the red heifer, over every other sin offering. And it's a very Kabbalistic concept Alter Rebbe is going in, because he says that the sin offering forgives of sin. The Parah Aduma makes a impure person pure. It has to go to a much deeper level. And that's why the Torah connects the passing of a tzaddik with the Parah Aduma, the red heifer. Listen to the words. I will not be able to explain it to you because it's above my pay grade. So, Let's listen to the words. Hopefully, he'll translate in English to the best of our ability. And it's important that even if you don't understand the words, you get used to these Kabbalistic expressions in Tanya and Kabbalah. So when you hear it again, you'll remember these Kabbalistic words. Okay, now the Rebbe will now explain how this relates to the passing of a tzaddik. This likewise draws down a degree of illumination that utterly transcends the world. In general, again, we've learned this many times, and that is that even in the names of God, that you have Shem Havaya Yudke Vavke, which transcends the world, and you have Shem Elokim, which comes in the world, which we learn in Chassidus, Memalik Kalamim, the way God fills the world, Soiva Kalamim, the way He encompasses the word. So in essence, a korban chatas, a person sinned. So therefore, when a person sins, he needs to have something to fix within the world because he did something negative, and that's a korban. This sacrifice fixed the negative of the world. And then you have something that transcends the world, which is the paraduma, which reaches up a transcending light. And that's why this para was totally turned to ashes, transcend the world, and to be able to bring down an energy that's above the world, above the natural world. So that's the problem, and that's why, since it's such a powerful light, so therefore it transformed the darkness into light and bringing about atonement to the sins of the generation. That's why a tzaddik's passing has the same power. Since the tzaddik, when he passes away, he reaches up to unbelievable higher levels. That's why the tzaddik can forgive, so to say, the sins of the generation. It's known that Abba, the father, Kabbalistic name for the Sfira Chachma, draws its sustenance from the 8th mazel. The 8th in the Torah enumerates the 13 attributes of mercy, which corresponds to the 13 troughs of the celestial beard the individual hears, which are conduits for the enumeration of the tendons flow of the life force. We know that in Kabbalah, a man's beard is a symbol to the 13 principles of mercy. So that's why by Chassidim we don't touch our beard, because it's connected to the 13 principles of Midas Harachamim. That's why it's called Hadras Pleizokein. That the beard is a hoda to the face because it reveals the mercy of the person. This trough is noitzach. The eighth rung is noitzach chesed. The 13 principles of mercy. Hashem, Kel, Mala, Achel, Chada, Erech, Apayim, Rav Chesed. Noitzach chesed la'alofim. Noitzach chesed that appears above listing. Noitzach chesed la'alofim. He guards chesed for thousands of generations. That is the 8th expression of the 13 principles of mercy. Noitzer, Rotzen. Noitzer comes the same letters as the word Rotzen, which is will. So you take the word Noitzer and you mix it up a little bit, just reform that letters, you have the word Rotzen, which is will, divine, which is divine favor. What is the meaning of divine favor? This is the right time. The Eis Rotzen. It's a divine favor, so to say, an auspicious time that becomes revealed and radiates and manifests away from above downwards at the time of the passing of a tzaddik stature. Over the Avaya Ba'ava, especially a tzaddik that served God with great love, Mesiras Nafsham, with self-sacrifice to love. Chayeyim in their lifetimes, Arvish, Shachris, because Shema, especially when they said the Shema in the morning and Shema in the evening. Thereby, they would elevate the feminine waters by their Shema. By them saying the Shema, the Krishma, they would elevate the feminine waters. They would initiate a spiritual arousal, expressing the desire to receive the flow of God's energy. To Abba and Ima, to Chachma and Bina, during the reading of the Shema, Kenoida, Kiyadua, as it's known, that the tzaddikim have the capability through their davening, especially through Shema, to awaken up great lights above. The Chei b'Talmud Torah, and so too applies with the study of Torah. The Chachma Nafka, because Torah comes from the wisdom of God. So too, the result of elevation of their learning Torah in this world, they waking up Chachmilah. They are waking up in their arousal, a influence of life, a revelation of life from Chachmilah, from Chachmad Atzilis, and they are waking up this light to come below. By days and and thereby Mayim Duchman is a masculine word. It's all Kabbalistic words. Which thereby flows from above. That's what they accomplished. They accomplished the Mayim Ducha to bring down these masculine waters. B'tikkun v'noitze chesed, where listening to draw down the trumpets of noitze chesed, they bring about noitze chesed. They bring about the 8th rung of Midas Harachamim, of the 13 principles. They bring about the 8th rung, which is the Ratzon of the Eibishter. They create a new will in God. And since it's a divine attribute of Chachma that draws into sustenance, Chachma comes into Neitzer, and it reveals a new Ratzon of the Eibishter. And this is exactly what happens. Now, the Rebbe says, it radiates a manifest way the time of the passing of the tzaddik. So that's what happens. Time of the passing of the tzaddik, this new Ava is revealed. The greater love is revealed in the world through their attribute of mercy of the 8th principle. The illumination that's drawn down through the self-sacrifice of the tzaddik during their lifelong recitation of the Shema and the Torah study becomes revealed at the time of the passing. As it's known in Kabbalah, it's known all efforts of man in which his soul toiled during lifetime, and which remains above, right? That's everybody, especially a tzaddik. We mentioned before, everything that a person works in this world, he stores in Gan Eden. He stores in his aura that's around him. That's Gan Eden. He stores in the spiritual levels that's around him. But it was all at that time. At that time in his lifetime, it was all hidden. It was obscured. You should know that that's everybody. Is revealed and radiates. It depends what you store. The more you store in your bank of goodness and kindness and learning and davening, what all your things that you store in your bank, in your aura, is going to be revealed at the time of passing. Thus, all unseen spiritual effects of the tzaddik, reading Shema and the Torah study, are revealed in the world below at the time of his passing. Now the illumination from the drop of the Neitzer Chesed that is revealed. Time of the passing of the tzaddik, Chesed of God radiates from the world to the world, from the world of concealment down to the world of revelation over those who fear him. It affects salvation in the midst of the earth, even to forgive the sins of the generation. Even deliberate sins that people have done that are for the 3 levels of total impurity that are inferior to Noga. For the Klippa, Noga can rise only to the unwitting sins. Those atonements is secured through the sacrificial offering. Because in the time, regular carbon only can elevate sins that are Klippas Noga. But when we reveal the Kapi Kabbalah, Mazel of Neitzer Chesed, the Ratzon of God, in the Moichen Simoy, in the hidden wisdom, Na'arech Ampin, meaning in Chachma of Kesed, which is the source of the task of Berurim, the refinement of the material world, extracting and uplifting the divine sparks within them. That's what happens. That happens is that this power, this revelation, transforms darkness into light. The Shviras HaKelim, from the breaking of the vessels, the Nehoida to light, the Olam HaTikkun, in the world of rectification, this world. So this light is therefore able to atone even the deliberate sins that are derived even the deliberate sins that are derived from the three impure clippers, the lowest levels that result from the breaking of the vessels. But this is not accomplished through a sacrifice. That's brought on the altar. We know that a carbon only forgives unintentional sin, inadvertent sins. It only strengthens the animal soul, which would bring the animal. That's symbolic of the animal that we're bringing on the altar. That we're bringing an animal soul, our things that we do unintentionally by mistake, because we all have an animal soul, and therefore we're going to do things by mistake, and we're going to do things unintentionally, and that's what the carbon fixes. But it doesn't fix intentional sins. You can't bring a carbon chatas for intentional sins. So therefore, we see that ultimately that the paraduma, the red heifer, has even a greater power than a carbon chatas apikabol, and that's the connection between the paraduma, the red heifer, and a tzaddik that dies. Rashi says that's when we put together the two things together. We go from the paraduma and the red heifer to the passing of Miriam, that's in the Torah, which the passing of a tzaddik is, because her passing is like the bringing of the red heifer. That's why the passing of Miriam is connected to the story, to the law of paraduma. And as Rashi says, it's a Gemara, ma paraduma, just like the red heifer fixed atonement. And so does the righteous, the passing of a righteous person. And the Yalkut, in portion of Shmini, you have the expression over there, the concept of a mei chatas, that the water of the carbon chatas. So this is what keep my explanation right above, that the red heifer atonement and its impact on the three impure clippers results from the sanctification of purifying waters, an act which draws down the benefication from above, just as the water flows downwards from above. Supernal holiness and chachma kesa is the source of refinement and purification. And that completes the Tanya of today.
The Rebbe died also on that parsha.
Correct.
I was always wondering why. Thank you. That was great.
And that completes the Chumash of today. Today is the 18th day of Cheshvan. The Tillim of the day is chapter 89, 88 and 89. You do those chapters, you do the Chitas of the day. The Hayom Yain is just basically fixing a word in Torah in the week Seder, and just telling you the different, the fixing of the words, different words in Torah. I wish you all a great day. Midshem at 10 a.m. We're going to have a class in the Tanya. Everybody's welcome to come to the JEI. That's a school right over here in the shopping center next to Chabad, or come on Zoom. I wish you all a wonderful, happy, and healthy day. See you all tomorrow, 8 o'clock. We'll continue the Chitas of the day. Have a wonderful day, everybody.